Hello, good evening. Jumping straight in tonight. Bit of a late start. Hey Russ, hey Azurin, how's it going? Things are going okay here. Pretty quiet Saturday here in this household. Although I tried to do some smart light upgrades and they didn't go so well. They're a bit of a stupid light upgrade at the moment. Yeah, some of them are not so smart indeed. But we are playing a little bit more Satisfactory, sort of continuing what we were doing yesterday. So let's jump into it. Now, my 4 doggo friends, I found a whole bunch more new friends for you. I just need to bring them home sometime. They're out in the forest. Abelt de boy, g'day, good evening, how are you? Now, where was I? I don't think I need anything else. I've got plenty of fuel. Running a little low on concrete, actually. Maybe I should stop by and grab some more concrete. The smart bulb is a dumb bulb too. So, last night on the previous stream, I think I've already checked these guys recently, we started building a train rail system, and we got from one side of the map to another part. We started here in the blue crater. We started by doing a semicircle around the perimeter of our sort of factory layout in the blue crater. And we have one rail winding off into the distance. It doesn't return yet though, so we can have one train delivery of stuff and that's it. It will then stop after that. So a bit today, I continued working a bit on the support design for the rails and did a bit more work upgrading them. So this is kind of the design I settled on. So this is kind of a darker burgundy red under here. It's a bit more tame than the super bright red that I was playing with. And I've also made sure that I can fit a hypertube snuggled in under here as well. Although there's a lot of manual building to actually put this hypertube in. So I've got as far as there. Now I've got a lot further with the rest of the supports. I've got about maybe a bit over halfway with the supports, doing a little bit of it today. But it is even using a couple of blueprints, there's still quite a lot of manual building involved. Today, the friend with the bauxite has automated all the ore with 5 concurrent 1-3 trains. That's a lot of bauxite. What would you do with all that? So yes, this is not a practical hypertube, this is just a functional test, so yes, you can do it. And if I'm going into third person in VR, it slides along the top of the rail nicely. So eventually I can build a hypertube network sort of tucked in under these minimal supports. But minimal and tidy is kind of what we're going for here, and also kind of naturally following the curves of the landscape. And we did plug power into it. So we can chuck a train on here. Make sure it's going the right way. We can drive to our destination. We're starting uphill. So if I come to the side, okay, it doesn't quite work that way. I mean, you can kind of see the supports underneath as we go. I did have to tweak a little bit of the rail layout. I figured out that I can't go too close to the ground if I ever want to fit hypertubes underneath again. So there was a bit of, like, I think here I had to raise it slightly to make room. But it wasn't too hard to actually make minor adjustments to it. And so we've got the power lines running either side, so I can also zip line along this as well. And there's a bunch of doggos through here, and I've tamed 3 of them, and I'm running out of my list of doggo names. So I'm going to have to come up with a few more. I was actually thinking of you and Lou, thank you, voice in my head, for there's a bunch of 3 ahead. So far they're all named after animal companions, mostly doggy animal companions. Although I did name one Skippy the bush doggo, and he straight away brought me a nuclear obelisk. So yeah, that's as far as I got with the supports. So this last section here I haven't got supports on yet. Why bother with connecting power when rails transmit power? Because this way I can have 2 separate power networks that are not shared across everything else. So basically one of the rails will carry power for factory networks and the other rail will contain power for transport networks, and the transport networks I can connect hypertube accelerators to at points across the network, whereas the factory one can stay isolated. So if all the factories die, the transport network will still work. Is Scotty? I'll probably get the reference as far as an animal companion. Oh, by the way, someone said just hop out and it'll stop at the end. If I hop out here, oh, it might actually stop in time. If it does reach the end, though, it does actually run off the end, even if I'm not in it. So when they did the train update, they did actually change it. So trains will run off the end unless there is a stopper at the end. And yeah, hence there being a stopper in the game now. So here's where we're going to do our next big factory. And I'm going to start with clearing some ground and putting maybe a double train station with 4 platforms each, because I think this factory might grow over time. It's going to initially just be crystal oscillators, circuit boards and computers, but it'll probably be supercomputers later on and possibly radio control units as well, maybe some other things. Scotty is a dog in Rivington. Okay. Call one the same, like Lovecraft call these guys. I do need to go looking around to see if some other names, but I could I can also think of what's the dog in Muppets? Ralph, I think. So yeah, there's Rolf. So yeah, there's 3 doggos here. I haven't tamed them yet. So we have, let me just ping Caterium. So over that direction, not Caterium. Caterium's the other way. Copper. There's 3 pure copper nodes just over the hill there. So we'll be setting up some copper sheet production sort of between there and here. And then we have some quartz in this area. Then node there, node there. I think that one's a pure one, and then there's 2 normal nodes. And hidden below in a cave is, you can see it there, Caterium ore. So these are the 3 materials plus a train load of rubber that we're going to be using for our computer and circuit boards factory. And that's all we need. We do not need iron. What's the best circuit board recipe? It completely depends on what you want to make, what parts you want to use. So, and also depends on how many buildings you want to make. There are a lot of factors. So in the past, I have been a fan of Caterium circuit boards and Caterium computer. So I've gone over the board with like pure Caterium and lots of copper and alloys, and just completely gone to town with Caterium. But the quartz and silicon based ones are actually, they're not necessarily more or less efficient, they're just a different quantity and different makeup and different throughput. Now one of the reasons I'm going quartz this time is it does use, I think, less plastic and rubber the way I'm going currently. It doesn't need any iron, this particular setup I'm looking at now, because there's no iron nodes around here. That's fine. And if I was looking at, do I want to delete all these mushrooms or do I want to build around them? I think I'm going to have to chop some of them down. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you just go into a planner and you go, tell me the most optimal, it will tell you one thing, but that will pick all the resources in the area and it'll get maximum efficiency out of all the resources. And this playthrough, I'm not going for maximum resource efficiency, I'm more going for power and space efficiency. So I think the crystal lineup is actually more energy efficient than going the Caterium route. Azurin, I think you did crystal computers when you did our family playthrough, was it? Yeah. We made it back to 3 in BG3 because in keeping the theme with Scratch, there's a handful of doggos. Oh, okay. Scratch has friends later, does he? Make the 3rd base of Shadowheart. Don't care about Axe. Touche. Okay, now, so the train line is coming from, where was it? There. And it will continue through here down to the edge of the desert. Probably should take care of that fluffy tail before he notices it and gets annoyed. Only 25 shots left. He just looks like a normal alpha though. Oh, one from the side. He's dealt with. Now that alpha is still up, or is he just ragdolling? I think he's ragdolling sadly over his corpse. Yep, he's just sad. Karlak, my beloved. Zola, Biscotti, and Gustav. Gustav. Mm-hmm. Are they all from doggos from Baldur's Gate 3? Or are you just quoting other sources there? Sparky sounds like a good doggo name. There's 4 of them right there. 5? 5! Okay, Hugh, Dewey, and Louie is out, unless we stick a Daisy in there. And a Donald? No, I do not want a doggo called Donald. Probably bring back poop or something. Okay, so there's a rock here. I was thinking of making this station elevated so we can have some space around below it for some logistics and also walking around. So kind of just winging it here. We snap to the grid. Actually, that snap to the grid angle is looking pretty decent. Or do I want to tilt it slightly? That's actually looking pretty good though, actually. Now what's our max width here? So if we snap here, we raise it up. I think that tree will have to go. Crystals for oscillators. Regarding circuits, I've supplied the one friend on my save that has allocated himself from the Dune Desert with nitric acid for these 2 quartz nodes. Okay, using nitric acid. I did see there were some alternates that used that. I decided not to go that way in this particular build. Now, I did want to put a double station in, and we're not going to fit a double station in here. I don't think with that tree there, unless we go further down here and put it here.
Live, laugh, consume.
I will go through more the factory planning stuff when I get around to actually making the factory, because I have done a lot of fiddling and planning with different designs, so I will go into that probably maybe next stream. I'll hopefully make a start on that. Yeah, the thing is, there is plenty of resources around here for what I need, so I'm not going to run short on anything. And if I'm not even going to use pure recipes for the copper here. There's that much copper here. And if I use pure copper, first, I hate refineries, and second, the power usage goes way through the roof. So I'm just going to use basic copper and basic constructed copper sheets, even though there are much more efficient recipes to do it. So many animals, Larian didn't let us adopt the cowards. Nitric acid is easy to transport and quite frankly never run out. Yes, I could bring nitric acid into here, but at the moment, this is I'm doing it as a 4-ingredient recipe, with rubber being one of the ingredients. So yes, I've tried all sorts of different recipes and I've looked at different build locations, and kind of this is what I've settled on as a good use of resources in this particular area. Okay, how wide are we here? We have 12. I think that went beyond the tree though. Okay, 11. Okay, we could fit 2 stations side by side here in amongst the trees. I could also go a little higher and nudge it in there as well, so there's a little bit of width there we could use. Steel claw, ooh. Shovels whining like a toddler to murder is one of my favourite interactions. See, you're all talking about PG-3 references I don't get. So far, all the doggos I've named, including Scratch, I've been aware of the references, so I would have to maybe play a lot more Baldur's Gate 3 if I was going to use all those names. As a C-block enjoyer, I can't help myself from doing the acid treatment of anything, really. That's fair enough. I have kind of avoided using acid unnecessarily. Usually when I see sulfuric acid or something in the recipe, I go, yeah, I'll avoid that. Maybe some of the later factories, I'll get into that some more. But at this stage, I want this factory to just follow the basic copper, crystal, caterium. Sorry, trees, you're right where the station's going. You might live, but I suspect not. I don't have the time. I'm addicted to Satisfactory still. Breaking Bad had an influence on your playstyle as well. Fair enough. You totally cheated to keep Shovel because none of us were wizards. Okay, I will take your word for it. I'm a little wary that if there's a station way over here, it's going to have to hook that way to get back in, so... Let me just chuck a station down and start getting a feel for how big these suckers are, because they're big. Okay, so that actually fits pretty reasonably. Like, I don't even need 2 stations at this stage. I'm just building them because I suspect I'm going to need 2 stations later on. So if I make the space now, then I won't go, I'm going to need to rebuild everything later on. Shovel a wizard, or am I misreading the Realm of Russ's discussion line there? I feel I have a Baldur's Gate 3 compendium in my ears. Thanks, Azuren. Okay. Oh, I gotta fit storage somewhere as well. Analog fireball. Yes, the zero in has been keeping totally filled in. I could actually put the storage in the middle. Now that I think about this, I was trying to keep this clear, that I can still have the storage in the middle and still do what I want to do with the middle section. No, I haven't played Hades 2. Not really my style of game, plus playing Satisfactory. Went on the line, so when he does play it, can he experience it for himself? Thank you. Boss, we took her health from like 7 to 44. Wow. Most of my gaming outside of Satisfactory tends to be multiplayer co-op stuff with some mates. So lots of Helldivers 2 and a bit of Nightingale. What's that? Not Half-Life game. Abiotic Factor. Have I run out of something, or is this interrupting a node? That's fun that it's saying I could load one train with the contents of the other train directly. Baldur's Gate 3 is multiplayer, but the problem is Zirin has played it multiple times, so me being a noob, she has to be very patient with me. So we were playing multiplayer for a bit, but I think I need to play it single player by myself first. Okay, why is that red, but when I lock it, it's blue? And it builds okay. That's a little odd. Ah, because it's missing a side platform. Okay. Now, slight problem. Can I fit a miner in there without hitting the station? Because that's kind of a... I think that might be the pure node. Kind of want that available. Why? Oh, I don't have any portable miners. It looks like it'll fit though. That's a normal node. Okay, so let me just check the nodes while I'm here. That's the pure one over there, I think. It's another doggo. Pure. Yeah, that's the pure one. We've got old Sneezy here on another one here. I'm pretty sure this is a normal one. Yeah, that's a normal one. Appearance in the game is BS, and we all know it. Again, I try and make it look like it's functionally possible. But some of the clearance is BS, absolutely. And it got worse. Like, they changed stuff in 1.0 and 1.1 that stuff that used to clip fine suddenly doesn't want to clip anymore. I could move everything a little bit further over. To give that miner a little space. Let's actually put the miner down there so we know it's going to exist there. I don't remember exactly how much quartz I'd need to begin with, but I'll put down 2 miners. Realised in the run with Relax where we were good people that you can save so much time doing an evil run and just be like 75% of the time, which is not my problem. Yeah. Hitbox check not only already exists in the code, but also applied only on build. Yeah, sometimes it'll say you can build, and then when you lock it in, it says you can't. There are some definite clipping bugs entirely. Not just this was poorly designed, but this is actually faulty and not working correctly. It's very hard to rotate and jetpack at the same time. I want to see what SF devs have done, the more I appreciate Factorio devs. Factorio is 2D. There is a lot more going on in Unreal Engine in the 3D space. As far as, like, I don't think there's layers. You can't build towers in Factorio, can you? Like multi-level stuff? I want to check if containers are going to fit. Yeah, they'll fit. So if we do one there. Also, I'm not sure what Factorio's coded in, but I haven't seen a good code management system for blueprints for Unreal Engine. So doing differences between different updates is actually really painful. And like as a solo mod dev, I have trouble with differences sometimes. So I can't imagine how hard it would be working in a team when everybody's code needs to coexist with everybody else's. And I know there's better tools out there that are Unreal specific. Hi Merc, good evening, how you going? Welcome. I don't know why I'm building all of these. I've proven that they can fit, and we're going to move everything across 2 meters, so... Now, do I just move the station across half a slab? So before it was lined up there. So if we bring it over half a slab, we lined up there with just a smidge peeking out over the edge. We can probably just run a solid beam or some other fitting along there to make it fit together. The additional containers help you load and unload the train faster. So if you're bringing along a massive container of rubber and you want to unload it as quickly as possible, you need a buffer for it to load into. I mean, for the sort of quantities we're talking about, it's probably not a huge deal. But it's easy enough to whack it down, so why not? I could also put the buffers underneath, which I have done in past things, so I could put a double lift down and put it under here. But I want to keep this clear if I can for some logistics later on. I'd rather not fill it up with containers. And there is enough room here for containers, so I think that'll be fine. So stuff coming out of here, if I connect this directly to the machines, it might pull it from here at like, 60 per minute or 20 per minute or 240 per minute. But if I have a container here, it will empty this at 960 per minute because I've got two 480 belts, and it'll just move it into bulk into the container, which the container is then a buffer for the rest of the machines. So it just gives you that buffer, and it means that if your train is late or delayed or is sporadic, then your machines aren't going to starve because the train hasn't arrived in time. Satisfactory, I just watched a walkthrough of X1000 Science without killing spawners. It's hell. Okay. I assume that the spawners is the creatures that attack your base. Well, this isn't it is kind of a buffer, but this pauses completely as it's loading and unloading. It actually stops operating while the loading and unloading happens. And if it is slowly unloading, there is less capacity to unlock the next train, but it's also more about a buffer of the products getting to the next machine in the line. Again, it's easy to add and it just makes things run smoother. And it's like I put containers everywhere between major inputs and outputs as a buffer. Okay, so now the rail. Are we happy with this positioning? I think that's pretty good. We've got space underneath. We're not hitting the tops of the Titans. I think this tree has to go. I mean, it's not interrupting too much. Okay, I'm going to put some containers down just to get, actually I don't really need the height. The height is here. Because the idea is that the extra line is just going to run through the middle here over the top of the platforms, so that trains that are going through don't need to stop at the train platform. It's going to be a bit of a steep turn and a descent though. Do I want to move everything back a few meters? Could go back even further, perhaps. And that should give us a whole pile more room to be able to descend down to the dune desert. See, it's already pretty low down, so yeah, we'll see how we go. There's a Dippy. Did I miss a Dippy alert? Or is he hiding? My dashboard is timed out. Dippy, are you hiding? Oh, is my text-to-speech alerts not working? I don't think I've heard Ada yet. Russ pointed at you, Dippy, you can't hide now. Oh, there was a Dippy saying afternoon. No, I completely missed that message. Sorry. Afternoon, Dippy. How are you going? We're busy paving paradise to whack down a train station. A complete overkill train station. That should hopefully be future-proof. So, the middle rail need to come through probably that height. Let's try for that. Where did I leave that end of the rail? Is it here or around the corner? It's around the corner. Okay, so we do need to curve around quite a lot. I mean, this we can aim just straight for that. And that should at least... that's going to be at a different angle, so maybe we should aim more for... Oh, we can try it. We can always rebuild it if it's not lined up. Aim it exactly for, I'd say not right there, but maybe here. Actually, we might want to aim it out further. Let's go to there. Almost missed. Oh, it's not quite long enough. I was hoping. So here I will probably not want to come out of full. I mean, it should be heading straight forward, so I guess I do just follow the line. So many doggos! Yeah, see, this has come into... Put in this stretch here, because this is just going to be straight. But this needs to swing out, move it more. We came in too much of an angle. It's the previous one, actually. I actually wanted to keep that beam in there. Just as a ruler reference. Du Bois threatening to make a website just to spell common misconception both games. You go for it. Or, you know, post it. Have you tried posting it on Reddit, you know, for discourse and discussion? You know, I have a lot of experience in this game and I haven't found any problems in the way I'm doing it. Adding a buffer isn't going to make it worse.
Top Dion X just hit a 3-stream watch streak. That's impressive dedication.
Top Dion X, welcome back. How you going? Reddit, Discord. Hey, Reddit is one of the more, well, I guess it depends what subreddit you're in, but one of the more polite, sane places for that sort of discussion. What, you want to have the discussion on Twitter? I mean, X? I mean, Nazi platform? Or Facebook? I mean, there's good Discord groups, but a lot of Discord groups end up being bubbles. So you probably find that you're agreeing with everyone in the Discord. Hey, how's that curve looking? Deleted my X accounts. Like Reddit because I can downvote BS comments. Absolutely, Dippy. Delete my Twitter account. Also rated slightly this. Reddit is less of a cesspool than other places online. Okay, now I can see there's a dip and I see that I need to come in a little lower and my lining it up with the top was actually not the right thing to do. Reddit is my cesspool. And then there's YouTube comments. It's tough out there. This might actually be too far down. I might be struggling to get the perfect curve here, and I'm sure there's techniques to get a perfect lined curve, short of doing lots of math. Yeah, I spend too much time on Discord upvoting and downvoting fools. Never even had X-Twitter. I considered it cringe 10 years ago. God, the only YouTube comments I read on Minecraft Redstone tutorials. That sounds dangerous. I mean, so far, I mean, again, most of the comments on my YouTube videos are mostly positive. I tend to say not inflammatory things. I say hypertubes are great, and VR is great, and trains are great. Which is pretty safe stuff to say. People either agree or roll their eyes and move on. Usually fix the one error the creator left in the tutorial. I haven't had many people complain about my tutorials. The biggest complaint is, you know, Satisfactory broke a bunch of stuff in 1.0 that my tutorials say should work, which is really annoying. That looks better. It's not perfect. You can see there's that straight bit there that looks like it shouldn't quite be straight. It's not too bad. The redstone tutorials, yeah, fair enough. Now the problem here is, yeah, this is going to be, need to have a slip off first, and the slip is probably better to come back here, maybe where that straight bit was. I'm tempted to have one off-ramp for both stations and then have that one split for them both. Probably easier to work from this side. Fine, I'll use a... It probably would be neater to come in this side here. Maybe I do the off-ramp first. Maybe it's just a sharper curve. It's a soonish curve. So if we come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ten. Aim it this way. Don't aim for the mushroom. VR. I played Satisfactory yesterday for 8 hours. Nice. So you back on DirectX 12, Dippy? Figured out all the performance problems?
Incoming propaganda broadcast detected. Please seek shelter.
Never actually used DirectX 12 just yesterday? Oh, okay, so you are on DirectX 11? Going off grid here as far as my pattern for rails. Let's see how it pans out. Yep. Let's go out 10. And then down. Actually, diagonal should work. If we start straightening up. Had your game set to DirectX 11 because I thought it runs better? Apparently not. Okay, so DirectX 11, DirectX 12 doesn't matter. Don't want to, but it was like 2 AM before my brain stopped whirring yesterday. Oh, I should probably get some slumber. No problems, Russ. Yeah, it was a bit of a late start tonight. The Saturday ones tend to be, I just wait until after dinner, and then stream. But thanks for popping by. G'day, Russ. Is the stream dying or is it just you? Oh, looked like there might have been a bit of a stutter. It looks okay now, but I will pause for an ad break. Yeah, I did see a bit of a stutter in the preview. I'm going to pause for an ad break because Switch wants me to. So I will check the stats while I'm having a drink. So we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Look lively. It's time to do those stretches and hydrate.
Okay, we're back. All the stream stats look good, so I think, Dippy, it was just something maybe at your end. But who knows? We keep going down this straight angle here. It's gonna want a little bit of a curve, isn't it? That's not terrible. I think that I should rename this playthrough as not terrible. Yeah, it's close enough. And it does it fit under? Does the train fit under? This is the important part. I think it's going to hit it. It's close. If I have a support beam across there, I mean, as long as I leave room, it's okay. Excuse me. A new VR news, Cyberpunk VR mod by Luke Ross was DMCA'd. Ooh. That's interesting news. I wonder why they waited so long before DMCAing it. Something media copyright, Digital Media Copyright Act. Basically, you're not allowed to mess with our copyrighted product. Please cease and desist. What he did to himself by making it paid? Yes. Well, that's not the first time he's been DMCA'd for making paid mods, but the other ones were Rockstar, and Rockstar are very litigious, so that wasn't too much of a surprise, really. Every time I hear of, you know, a VR mod being shut down when it's not really infringing on copyright, I do wonder. The optimistic part of me wonders if the original developer is working on a VR mod. Boy, wouldn't it be good to have a proper VR mod for Cyberpunk. Why is that not letting me? Why is it red? Is it too on top of the other beam? Is that the problem? A little nudge and it looks okay. Even got promoted by CSS. I think you'll find. Yeah. Well, I'm not charging money. I don't know if promoted is the right word. The game director said, yeah, it's cool. When they tried to make a bad joke about VR, they added a comment and said to check out my mod. So I guess that's a positive. Okay, that is not a very good service to start a rail on, except everything else is going to be Actually, I could use a slopey foundation. I'm trying to avoid using foundations and keep my rails sort of free flowing. I just want to be free, man. But sometimes that is actually a pretty close angle too. Wrong height though. Stupid soup. It's even right there on the UI. Hey, you've got a UI and it's telling you not to zoop. People who make Goat Simulator wouldn't expect anything less you're posting. Yeah, well, when they made that short, they didn't even like Jason, the guy who made that short, didn't even know the mod existed at that point. But I'm wondering if a lot of copy stain staff got a bit burnt out on VR, because a lot of them actually used to work in VR and AR before they were a copy stain. Like Emmett, the game director, he I think was doing AR stuff, and Hannah, the map designer, was doing stuff in the Oculus Go days, I think. So I'm wondering if they went, oh, this is VR, but it's terrible because everything's low res and blurry and stuff, and they just haven't got back into it. Installed alpha version of mod, almost didn't notice the new things. You're correct about users being blind. Yep. They even like pulse a bit to try and get your attention. I have, if you're on Alpha 5 though, I have moved them vertically up a bit. So they were kind of more directly in eye-line sight. But there was a bit of feedback saying they were too central, and some people wanted them moved up and out of the way a bit. So I did move them a little bit. So yeah, if you once you see them and you know they're there, so you can always refer back to them if you do need some help. Actually, if you've been playing for 8 hours, you would have been on Alpha 4. Alpha 4 actually had them higher up, but there's Alpha 5 is out now with a few other tweaks. Or did I move them up in Alpha 5? Can't remember. There's been too many alphas. I really should release the damn thing. Okay, I think this is good enough for now. So train comes along. If you want to go to the station, you turn left, and then it will split off into either station. Otherwise, you can stay on this rail here, which will go through the stations in the middle. Clearance above any storage I do or do not decide to put in. And then from here, it's a bit of a steep dive down the hill. Alpha 3 installed. Wow, that's an old one. That's like a week and a half old. Maybe older even. Okay. Yeah, I think we want to go downhill faster than that. Or we had a bit of a turn out of the gate. Yeah, maybe we do a little bit of a turn here. How do we do a small turn? Actually, that will need to be a 1 meter if I want to snap onto it. Mod manager wants to downgrade to 102 when I open it. Yeah, if you manually, yeah, it will tell you that, but you don't have to. It will say, hey, there's an update, 102, but if you've manually selected it, it shouldn't worry too much and it shouldn't hassle you too much about it. I do want to go down a little bit there. So you want to start angling it. Is that too steep? I don't think so. I think that's okay. And it's all downhill from here, so... Yes, that's a reasonable curve. Now, can that snap onto there? And does it look reasonable? No, it doesn't look reasonable. Okay. I want to at least get kind of the way the rail joins up here before I go back and sort of work on the station a bit more. Although the station is technically there, we're working on functional rather than pretty for the station, so... Okay. That's because no one said anything. Right, yes, okay, we do want to curve. Keep going down, I think, instead of that direction. Wait for that purple slug. How am I going to get these to smoothly connect to this? It would have to be quite a bit down if it's to get the right merge angle, I think. Might take a few rebuilds to get in the right angle. This kind of needs to come out in parallel to this and then duck in the side. So this needs to somehow come along here. And before stepping into the side. That probably can be over a bit closer. I'm going to need a foundation to go straight. No, actually it's trying to go straight. I need this radial to not quite move so much. That's actually a little higher. I need it to be a smidge lower. But it's getting there. I think we can do this. So while this will place anywhere on here, it will allow you to do minor rotations. So you can tweak the angle a little bit. And then that can tuck in. Does it rise up? It does rise up a little bit, I think. So I should be able to, rotate it. That's better. This is a bit of a longer distance, this one coming over. Yeah, that one actually comes down to here. Oh, come back, come back, come back. I think it's too long there. And that under there. That's okay, I think. I want to have this go fairly close to the hill. Because I saw an idea of doing a branch here that I want to try and replicate. Symmetry 3, the painted beam, the tape measure that keeps Satisfactory together. Yep. Beams and pillars. Oh, nope. Certainly a different way of doing train tracks than I've done before. Whoa! Okay, he found his way around. Guess I have to deal with him. You are a shooty guy. I mean, biofuel is almost as good as a hover pack, and it doesn't even need electricity. At least for this kind of combat. Yes, the management wants to stay on the stable release. Absolutely, yeah, it does. Which, you know, they probably went, oh, it's good enough. As long as you don't hit upgrade all, it's fine. Straight down. So I saw this cool idea where the main rail will go that way and the other rail that will branch around will go up that way, but it will basically go along that bit there and over the ridge there and then up there. So rather than turning sharply up the corner here, it's a more gradual run along the side and overlap over the other rail. So I saw that in someone else's map and thought that looks really cool. So that's the plan. It's probably it's just easy and a nice button. Yes. Well, the current, it's up to Alpha 5 and it is a release candidate. I think I've stopped fiddling with stuff. So with a bit of luck, Unless someone finds another bug, and someone did find a few other bugs, so good for them. Just like things like the new build rotate not working in snap mode in VR. Whoops. Okay, this needs to be a bit higher off the ground for our support system that we have, so I'm going to have to redo that line. Because if you miss the start, the beam support, the rail support system I've come up with has enough room under it to fit a hypertube. So later on I can fit a hypertube network in, fitted underneath everything. But it means I can't go too close to the ground, otherwise the hypertube would go into the ground, and that would be bad because I'd have OCD issues about clipping. Also, it might just be impossible to place because I have to add the hypertube manually afterwards, because the angle of the hypertube is custom based on the angle of the rail, so you cannot blueprint any hypertube system into the frame support. Because if you do, it goes wobbly wobbly like this because every hole is aligned vertically instead of at an angle that matches the rails. Trust me, I tested it. One problem is I want to probably break off pretty soon after that. I could probably do it about here, actually, and then curve around that way. Hypertube underground, the London Tube system. Well, people do build bases under the ground in Satisfactory. You can actually very easily make a hypertube that will skip you under the surface of the ground into a big open area that's below the map. So people have hidden stuff under there and have drone armies and things like that. And I haven't ruled out potentially having a train line that does burrow underground. It has been an idea I've been toying with. Basically, your train line, you keep it in a tube so you don't actually see that you're underground, but you go into the side of a wall and then follow the train passage through, and when you come out the other end, ta-da, you're back on the normal landing. Wrong button. See, Dippy, even I press the wrong button sometimes. It's not quite lined up. I mean, it's close enough. Probably doesn't matter. Use the Toon Force right into a wall and beyond. Exactly. With plans to make an underground metro train network in distant far future. Yeah. All plans for the future. This is why I'm still playing this game. In this playthrough, I'm having a natural free-roaming train line with a single rail. That's the goal, or at least one of the goals. In future playthrough, maybe I just make an underground network. just going to leave some supports there just for guidance in case I decide to rebuild that section. A normal limestone node. Okay, we may potentially need to use that, so we probably don't want to block off that. Ah, there is a joint right there, so I could just take it off from there. Go across that way. I think I do need to come further back though. You know what the burn rate of biofuel versus normal fuel off the top of your head? Not off the top of my head, no. I can't easily look it up while I'm in VR. So I think I do... Where's that joint? That's back there. I start off from here and I curve a little bit out and then I direct. So I kind of need... from this point. That's probably close enough, actually. Actually, the slope is not good there. So if I build two pillars like that, and then I build a beam from there to there, then that beam should be pretty close. It's a little bit out. It's not the right. It's supposed to be exact. Let's do it from down here. Actually, it should be to the other side of this. That's what I'm messing up. Said lock. See, dead set lined up with it. And now pull it back to there. Slide it up to there. We now have a reference point and angle to take something off the side. Eight. This one's going to be a bit more eyebally. This is where a hover pack would be good because I could get the exact line up that I needed. All that just to get a split that lines up nicely. Does it line up that nicely? I'm not sure. As you're in, you have a loud keyboard. Love you. have no idea how this curve's going to go or if this is the right angle. Is he fighting? Oh, right. Biofuel is nearly 3-to-1 versus normal fuel, that much than I thought. I personally need to invest in that going forward. You mean the liquid biofuel in the jetpack or the liquid biofuel in other things? Or what context of biofuel are you after? I think I really want to make this shorter than 40. Jetpack, yeah. I don't know the rate it burns. I know it's takes a lot longer to drain. But I haven't timed it. There are certainly people who have timed it. I'm sure if you, maybe in the wiki there might be a comparative jetpack fuel information. Well, okay, that was nearly off the end. Five sec versus 12 for the burn time. 17 sec versus 53 hover, okay. And then there's like rocket fuel where you just shoot into the air and then run out and then have to quickly switch to your parachute. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So theoretically there should be 10-ish meters here before that lines up, but okay, now we want to start turning pretty sharp. Maybe we should have started turning sharper already. Actually, yeah, I'm going to start turning already. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10. I should have left the last beam there to show me how much sharper I wanted to go. Slightly better at 66 hover is ionized fuel. Oh, okay. Bumpy hover with 22 vertical, 160. Yeah, I'm pretty sure ionized is but also going straight up. I don't think I've actually tried ionized fuel. I don't think I've actually bothered to build it. Definitely made rocket fuel a few times though. I mean, I can just measure out how much I want here. Maybe I go 20 meters this time. And I do kind of want to flatten out here. So that's my height target. I think I've come too wide here. Maybe I should have circled more out that way. That's the wrong way. Not exactly going straight over the bridge. Like, it's not a straight across. I think I can always come back and rebuild this later. So if I leave all the supports in, this can still be a decent experiment and a learning experience in how to put tracks freeform. I think once I put the supports in, then this will look pretty cool. Want to turn sharp or do I want to go around the rock? I think I want to go around the rock this side, so I do want to, I think, start heading this way. I think that could have come forward a little bit more. Yeah, it's not quite perpendicular. Okay, so this one, see if I go from there, it's going to be close to the rock, but I can come back 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and then take it from this point. And start heading up the hill. Yeah. Oops, no, please don't delete that rail. So I have the main line here, goes further down, and there'll be another station down there because there's oil down there. So we'll be building a heavy modular frame factory down there with oil. Meanwhile, this other line here curves around and over, and that will take an alternate path back through to join up with the main part of the base. And that return journey I might get to this evening. It's a dangerous one. I wonder if I can reduce the steepness of this. Exactly how. Do you know what your stream delay from PC to headset is in virtual desktop? I can check. Let me just hit this. Ignore that, you can't see the screen I'm looking at. My latency is about 50 milliseconds. So there's about 15 seconds of game latency, 3 milliseconds of encoding, 4 or 5 on the network, and 6 of decoding. So it kind of varies between 45 and 55, I'd say. Actually, it was just pretty stable on 45 there for a bit. But I'm using synchronous space warp in virtual desktop, which is doubling the frame rate. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's doing motion compensation so that it smoothly follows the view around instead of just blindly following what the position was from the PC. I don't know that for sure, but given the other sort of stuff they've got going there, I suspect that is what is going on to reduce the... Like, I don't see any delay when I'm shaking my head from side to side. You know, it's very smooth. What are you doing to my train? Take you anywhere. Leave it alone. He's having fun. Something dance. You just want to hike on the train. Okay, these mushrooms got to go, I think. At least the ones that are encroaching the rails. Not build, we want equipment. I could put down single ones. No, I have Wi-Fi 6E on my router, I think, not Wi-Fi 7. I don't know if it improves the latency. Probably not noticeably. It is going to be interesting to see what the Steam frame can do, though. Do I have fancy build pieces here? Those are materials. Doesn't look like I do. That's okay. I'll just pick some manually. I mean, we're not super high off the ground here, but I can... be a little fancy with the supports. I want to add another half meter to it, maybe. He hates me. I just got the game on Xbox. Question, what do I do after destroying and trying to kill everything on the map? Not sure if my brain is capable of this game. It can be a challenging game. Even on Xbox, there are online tools that can help with planning. And I mean, it does depend on what you're used to and how your mind works, but you can use tools. And the best thing is, I think, to break it down into separate smaller factories if you're a bit overwhelmed, because you get to phase 3 and phase 4 and you plug it into something and you just go, that's way too much to do all in one factory. So I'm a fan of making a factory that does a couple of things that are related. So I have a separate factory that just does plastic and rubber, and I have another factory that just does steel products. And then if I have another factory that needs plastic and rubber, instead of making plastic rubber again, I will get a train and I will deliver a train full of rubber to this factory here. And that way I don't have to do that part of the factory where I am here. And this factory here is going to be making crystal oscillators, circuit boards and computers, and later on probably supercomputers. But I'm going to do it as separate smaller factories. So there'll be one section that's just doing the crystal oscillators. So there'll only be a couple of different machine recipes at a time in there. And then the output of that will go to the next factory where a couple of other machines will then make the circuit boards and so on. So rather than looking at it one huge mega factory, breaking it down into smaller factories can certainly help make it a bit more manageable. I'm tempted to make these 2 meters. Or I could just move those in a bit. It's very easy to look on Reddit and look on YouTube and see these massive builds that people are making. And most of the time you do not need a massive build at all. Especially if you're your first time playing, you don't need a massive build. You can make, 5 computers a minute, and that's probably enough. You might need more than 5 computers. Five supercomputers a minute, it would be plenty. Because if you're spending time exploring the world and building other factories, by the time you need more things, your factory at 5 per minute will finish building what you need. So a couple of vids on modular versus mega factory styles. Yep, just called whole setup. Nice. Yeah, separate organized factories is what I like to do, and that way you can make stuff that's close to the resources. Like this factory is going to use copper, quartz crystal,
Incoming propaganda
and Caterium.
broadcast detected.
And
Please seek shelter.
Copper's over there, quartz is there, Caterium there. It's all nearby, so I don't have to ship them in. All I need to bring in is plastic, and the plastic is all being done at another factory. I don't need to worry about it. I just need to have the train bring the plastic in, and then get everything else locally. Another downside of mega factories are the frames. Yes, they could. I don't know how well that would affect the Xbox, but it might be a factor for sure. And certainly it affects it on VR, so I do try and keep things such that my frame rate is going to be not terrible. Then again, I loaded in Big Booty Tom's save file to do some frame rate tests, and my PC held up surprisingly well. And his city is a mega factory. It's basically the entire Dune Desert is his entire save game, and it is just a single warren of machines across the entire desert. But things like plastic and rubber, you're probably going to need a lot of. So making a factory that's really good at just making those things and makes a lot of it can help. But even then, you could have multiple plastic and rubber factories. You don't have to have just the one if the throughput is getting too much for that one factory. But yeah, explore the map. Don't build in one place. Find a nice place that has all the resources you need, or most of them, and then build a factory that's all local. Was he nice enough to wall the factory off? Big Booty Tom, no. I've heard that walling it off doesn't help as much as you'd think. His is literally just a rolling sea of machines. It is an amazing save. It's actually been used by Coffee Stain as the artwork inside their vinyl soundtrack release. It's a beautiful factory and it's amazing design, but it is just one twined, intricate, neat sea of machines. Anyway, Twitch wants me to take a break. Yeah, it's definitely people. Twitch wants me to take an ad break, so I'm gonna take a quick break, have a bio break, and I will be back in a couple of minutes.
Look lively. It's time to do those stretches and hydrate.
And we're back. Okay, we are in the Titan Forest. We are working on making a completely overkill large train station for our upcoming computers factory. We don't need this size station at all at the moment, but I'm building it here just so I have reserved room, because this station will probably grow into supporting supercomputers and other things later on. Headset's just a little loose. Give me a second. That's better. Now I did leave an extra foundation at the back, so I should probably leave this one at the front as well, but I hear some hogs want to say hello. But they can't get me up here. You can come get me now? I'm also out of ammo. Got him. Where did his buddy die? Can't find him. I really need to make a munitions factory. I keep running out of rebars. I don't really need a support on this side. I might actually add some supports in the middle. Wow, they all actually defaulted to the right angle. It's amazing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 will be the middle here. And we can do one in the middle. I think I'm going to chop down some mushrooms. Come on. Mushrooms don't go poof like the trees. Just vanish. That away. I think it's just those. Come on, let me snap somewhere, please. There we go. I really wish you could lock it in place and then rotate it. Even if there was a mod to do it, that is a mod that I might actually cave in and install. Maybe it'll come in 1.2. On. Like, this is the logical piece to attach to that, and yet it refuses to attach in an intelligent way. I'm trying to get a little one, yeah, in there, in there. Nope. Aha! No, I'm not going to give you berries, doggo, until I've thought up some new names. Yes, I know there's been quite a few names in the chat. Did I write them down? Can I write them down? Not at the moment. Also, I need pictures. I need ID cards, documented evidence of life. Otherwise, chat could just tell me any old thing. Okay. These attached somewhere useful, thank you. Once you get the first one in, the others aren't too bad because you can attach to the side and then you can easily rotate it by 45 degrees. It's just attaching the first one to the top bits that is the painful bit. Okay, how many we done? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we just got one more pillar. Yay, it's not a floating platform. It's well supported. Okay. Now, I think I might start putting some supports under here, leading up to the station, just to see how it looks and fits in with everything. Oops. So, do I want the main support to be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll put it right there. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna have to go. Actually, if I go 6, I can put a small support in there, and that should fit in. Okay. So main support is this blueprint, and if we attach it to the bottom here, we can rotate it there, and that will be in the right position. Then the brace support there, and the main support there, then the brace support nudge down. It's going to scratch the top of the train. Yeah, laugh it up, fuzzbutt. Then we add these cross beams in. It can be a bit fiddly to place. You know, I might have to custom make this support to be a little higher. You having fun there, mate? He's still on the train. Is he going to ride it all the way? Hey, look at him go! Just realised there is no end to this rail and I'm going to fly off the end. So long! Oh, he fell off. The train went straight through the beam. Okay, because the other part of the support is from here, connects to these points. So this needs to be higher. How are we going to do that? That's not gonna work. This needs to be down half a step. Or does it need to be up half a step? Did I get it right? It's... So it's the same style of support connector. We've just moved it up a little bit. With a bit of luck, it will be enough to fit a train under. If not, I have a plan C. Now I do have a train on here. Where is the train? There it is. Yeah, okay, so the clearance is enough, but I guess it's okay. It's actually missing all of it. I think I'll leave that there, and we can always come back and improve it later on. So basically what I would do is I would have this support, but I'd put it there and there so that it goes up, across, and then down. But I can adjust that later on. One, two, three, four. Actually, they should be too high. 1, 2, 3. Well, now this is going to be interesting because this is where the two tracks start to merge. Yeah, do I start lining them up? Maybe I do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might, yeah, I'm going to need to make this a little higher through here, so that's not enough room to have the support continue. Oh, you're back. I just really like this spot. Gonna sneeze on me, isn't he? So this bit is a bit repetitive and tedious. That's why I did a fair bit of this offline earlier today. I'm just doing a bit here to see how it looks coming into the station. And then I can figure out if I need to do any custom changes to it. We have our 2 power lines running along the side here, so one of them will be a power grid just for transport. At least that's the intent, it isn't yet. So we can connect that to our train stations, and the other one can feed power to the factories. So that if the factories trip the grid or run out of power or there's some other problem, I mean, there are priority power switches, I know that's not as much of an issue these days. But I thought it would be an interesting challenge to have all transport on a separate power grid to the actual factory production. And if all transport is powered by geothermal generators, then transport should have 100% uptime, even if the entire rest of the power grid comes crashing to a halt. It should mean it should be easier to get resources to, say, a nuclear power plant after a meltdown. This is the theory. I've never actually made nuclear before. So I'm going to do that in this playthrough. How hard can it be, really? Yeah, so things like this, I'm going to need to figure out power splits either side of the rails. There'll be some manual changes there. Okay, so that's the main one. I have no idea why this pillar snaps to the top of this thing. Again, that little connector was added in 1.0, I think. Or was it 1.1? I think it was 1.1. That's when they added the new beam types, right? I got that almost spot on, didn't I? There we go. Rail support's there. Get these similar ones here, so line it up with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare this is the place I put another pillar. Again, I can't snap it here, I have to snap it to the bottom. And again, I don't know why snapping it to the bottom puts it above it. But that's what I need to do to get this to work. Well, the other thing I can do is if I go above this, snap it to the top, and then nudge it all the way down. Except that's the wrong one. It's supposed to be a full support. Just sample beams. Sample beams. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it's like, nope, you're looking at me funny. I refuse to build there. Step back. Stop thinking those thoughts, and I will let you build. And similar over the other side here. Question, where can I report bugs? I always say I should report this and then I forget. Can I just fill your Discord DMs? You could fill my Discord DMs, or you could join the Flat2VR Discord if you are not already on it, Dippy, because that's the official support channel. I'm pretty sure you posted there before. Is this a bug I can easily fix, or something that's complicated? I mean, you can tell me here, right here and now, and I can have a think about it. But the Discord, the Flat2VR Discord, is kind of the official place for that kind of stuff. I really should spread these out so that they kind of line up. So maybe if I put that one there instead. No, that's too close together. Stuff it, that looks okay. What have you broken, Dippy? I don't make any input in 1 minute, the controllers freeze until I press something. That is a UEVR issue, and it's actually a lot less than 1 minute. It is like 10 seconds. So if I just stand here like this and I move my hands around and not pressing any buttons, and I thought it was about 10 seconds. Maybe I'm moving them too much. I should be more gentle. It's going to prove me a liar now, isn't it? This gentle motion. Totally making me a liar. Who's counting? How many seconds is it? Because often I'll just stand here lightly and then they'll just... Oh, there they go. They've locked up. See? No movement. And if I move a stick, then they'll snap in. That is a UEVR thing. And I don't know if there's much I can do about it. Admittedly, I haven't looked too hard. But I would recommend maybe posting that in the UEVR general support rather than my mod specifically. But if you do report it in my mod Discord, it is a reminder that people are concerned about it, and I can take another look at the UEVR config and see if there's something I can change. Or you can poke around in the UEVR settings yourself, but it might be something I need to like put in Lua code or something like that to change it. But there is something in there that says after inactivity of X, everything goes to sleep. That's not lined up. Do not talk directly to Praydog. That's what the UEVR support channel is for. And there'll be other people on there who are more familiar with UEVR itself than I am that might be able to have some ideas as well. I quickly show you how you laid the rails I was a for a long time. I can, yes. Do you want to know right now, or can I do it in a little bit? Because I probably will be laying some more rails in a bit. I can do that to finish off the stream. I mean, I was doing it most of the stream last stream. Yes, I will do it in a bit, because I'm basically doing some... I'm not going to do the entire network of supports here. I'm basically doing enough to let me get a visual idea of how all this hangs together as 3 different rails sort of split and come into the station. And that mushroom's going to have to go, I'm afraid. Okay. And we need some of those over here. Cool. So I will follow up with these supports all the way up this side rail as well, and I will continue on so it joins up with the rest of them. The idea is you kind of need to know before you hit the turn whether you want to turn into the station or not. So you come here, you go down there, you go into the station. Otherwise you come straight through, you travel through the middle of the station. We're going to build our quartz products there. Yeah, I could reckon I can start dropping down a little sooner here and reduce this. Is that some uranium? So I do eventually, like sooner rather than later, want to continue this rail and loop it back around to home base and rejoin in the blue crater so we actually have a full loop. I'm not going to get this done tonight. It may involve death as well, because I happen to know that there's a particular spot where there is a cave I want to put the rail through that has 2 huge poison stingers, several large stingers, and also I think it was a radioactive hog as well. So it was not a nice place. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of the rail build here, and this one's a little tricky to describe, but I'll kind of show it to you. So because we're mid-build here, this is already at a point where the rail is continuing on. So to continue, I suppose I can show you a quick way to start. So how would I do this? Let's just put down a slab as an example. Please rotate. Thank you. That looks like a broken image icon to me in my chat, so I'm not sure what that is. So say we have a rail, and usually have a start point that's flat. Rails, here we go. So we have a rail, and it's a nice, sensible rail that is going along in a straight line along a foundation, not going anywhere in the world. Say from this point, let's say we want to veer off to some random direction and circle around that rock there. So you effectively need to create 2 tangents to the curve, if you know what I mean. I'll try and illustrate it. So you start with your beam in default mode, and it's easy to do this with a 1 meter foundation because you want the beam to be just below the rail. So you want it to be like that. So if the rail continues straight along the beam, it will go straight along the beam. And you spread this out straight ahead the full 40 meters. Then at the end here, you change to freeform mode. So you're going to be a spitter. You might spit at me. And you attach to there, and then you go any direction you want to go. So we want to go this direction. But something to remember is at the end of this 40 meters, it's going to go straight another 40 meters before we turn. So we need to keep that in mind. This is the general pattern. There are some variations I will cover, but this is basically a circle. It's two tangents with a 40-meter tangent distance. Yep, he's going to shoot me. And I have no rebars. This is problematic. So now if I continue this rail from here, let me just straighten up my view. Ow! Sir, do you mind? I'm trying to show some stuff here. If you bring the rail down to here, it should be nearly perpendicular. Oi! Perpendicular to the rail. Let me just... No, wrong thing. I've got it here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Time out. He's still going to shoot me through the hole though. Let me guess, I've lined up perfectly with the hole? Almost. Okay. So this creates a tangent that if this was flat, the spline here would be 100% perpendicular. But if you have a vertical change, it is not 100% perpendicular. So sometimes you might need to move it back until it becomes exact, but it's close enough. Oh, the track junction. Oh, I can describe this if you want as well. That track junction was its own challenge, but it was actually similar to this, or at least I was using this method. So now you need to continue a beam, a beam straight on from this. But if you have a beam in default mode from this, it doesn't actually follow the same line. It will always go horizontal. So you actually need a pillar here, and you put it approximately where the end of the rail is. And then when you have, oops, I'm back on number 9. Then when you do your next straight beam out of here, that will continue the run on. Now the 40 meters is the easiest because you just go the maximum length of the beam, but you can do tighter turns or more varied turns by having less of a distance. So if I went out like 20 meters here, okay, that's 20 meters. And then I decided to go off, oops, not diagonal, freeform, and I want to go up that way. And when I run this from here, it will be perpendicular about 20 meters along this beam. So along about there. And then you need to do the same thing. So you need to get a concrete pillar. Oops, I was in bloody zoop mode. I'm still in zoop mode. This is going to be quite tricky because I'm up high. Got it. Default mode. Let's go 40 meters out that way. And then let's go... Let's say we want to go down that direction. I put the pillar there and move it on a bit because it gives me something to stand on when I come along with the rail. And this is a very impractical example. I'm just kind of going all over the place to show you kind of the general technique. But again, when you bring the rail down here, it should be roughly perpendicular at the end. So the two beams act as tangents to the 2 points of the rail. So you see you've got this kind of nice continual curve the entire way through. So that's kind of how I've been doing all the rails. To do the entrance and exits, I can show you. It was a similar technique, but there were a few other extra tricks I needed to get kind of the decent, getting them to align. So you can see here, first I brought the middle one down, and you can see I've got the two beams there. So I actually did a short, like 10-20 meter curve from there to there. And then from here I did, I think, a full 40-40. And so that got the main line down to this point at this angle. And then what I did was I got a bigger foundation here, and I put it alongside it like this. I actually moved it down a bit. And then I zooped this larger pillar down, and then I just dragged a... Actually, I can probably redo this one, and I'll show you. I'm being irradiated. It's not going to shoot me. No, don't delete the station, please. I swear I wasn't being irradiated last time I was standing here. Must be something behind there. So basically I created a little bit of a siding there, and then I got... Ooh, wrong button. And then I just took straight from there and I brought it along here. And on here you can place it anywhere, and I just rotated it around till it was just dog-eared in a little bit like that. So that brought it so that it was on the same angle coming in here and kind of aiming inwards, and from there I just went from there and then went down and connected it to the connection point. I'm gonna have to deal with whatever's behind that rocky wall. Coming into the station, and you can see I've got some of the support beams under here still, so there's a little bit there where the support splines are in there. So I did a similar thing here where I used the splines to come from here straight out for the main rail, but then when you've got the two splines, I did a second spline that went off to the side, so I ended up with basically two rails, but one of them coming in a bit, but because the rails were kind of the same level, I mean, they're a little out of level there, but they're not too bad. And so when it got to this point, then I did a similar sort of spline trick to get it angled more in a downwards angle, and followed it through. And I had to do this bit a couple of times to get it to line up nicely, but it is a new technique to me. This is my first railway using this particular build design. It's interesting. But it just gives a more organic finish rather than just building a foundation highway where everything, you know, has to be a 1 or 2 meter slope and you can't do any other angle other than that. This one allows a lot more natural curves around the terrain, which I'm trying to do. Is he still in there, or has he respawned outwards? I don't see him in there. But there is a YouTube video covering this build technique, actually by another Aussie guy. He does it with a double rail as well. So basically, at any endpoint where this is, basically you can build a cross beam, and then you can build a double rail width off that. Where is he? I think he's despawned and probably respawned somewhere else. There he is. I don't think he can sneak out from the bottom of that. Okay, something spotted me. Oh! Doctor got out. I thought I'm going to be in this area particularly long. Now I could go up through this way. It's a bit of a steep hill though. And it's a bit of a windy passage, whereas this other way comes out to the beautiful oasis where the coal is. So if I pull in along there, I can potentially build something in there later on. Tell me how to pronounce the nickname of the person who made the videos you mentioned. I didn't say the name of the person because I can't remember the name of it. It was an Australian guy. Excrubulant on YouTube, possibly. Malt60 is suggesting it's try Excrubulant, EXCRUBULENT. I can try and find the link and share it if you can't find it. But he goes into a bit more of the math behind this and why it doesn't line up perfectly perpendicular at the end if there's a change in... Oh, is in the actual YouTube is called It's Excrubulant? Yeah, he sounds like a friendly Aussie guy, and he has a couple of videos on it, and then he has a tour of some of his places where he's winding in and out through caves and things. Cool. No problem. I probably should rewatch it to get some tips, but I think I've got the core of it down, and I'm working out the quirks of it. I'm still working out the best way to transition from this method to like a station, because it is a little fiddly at times. So here I need to actually go higher. No, I don't need to go higher. Do I need to go out more? No. I'm still trying to get a feel for what the right angle is for it to end up where I want. But the trick is to remember that the rail will come to here, but after this point you will need an extra distance forward, and if you're just doing the 40 meters every time, and he seemed to just always do the 40 meters, he didn't really talk about using the lesser tangent lengths. Yeah, so here it's kind of back there, I think. We bring it forward. Not that it makes much difference. It doesn't make two. He did cover the lesser ones too, did he? Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to rewatch his video. Unless he's done a new video since the one I watched. It actually was quite a while ago that I watched it. And I thought, that's cool, I should try that sometime. This one I might actually start from further back. But really, I don't need to measure it. I just need to eyeball it, because as long as you go in the direction you want, then you can always just drag out the rail to where it looks perpendicular, and that'll be decent enough. So bring it up to about there. I think his videos were made before, well, maybe they were before Nudge, because he usually zoops a line of pillars back, and he didn't have the half nudge either, so the half nudge makes things easier. So yeah, maybe I should play with shorter lengths more when I'm doing things. Here, maybe I want to start turning sooner, so I should come here and then go that way more. It's assuming the train fits around the corner, which it will not.
Incoming propaganda broadcast detected. Please seek shelter.
I mean, no. Maybe I need to come out wider here. Maybe this one should have been wider. Whoa, that's a bean running fast. Wonder what chased it. I think it needed a bit more than that. Okay, Twitch wants me to take an ad break. So I'm going to come over here and let this guy out. Except he's respawned back up the top there. Hours laying pipes, Dippy. That must have been exhausting. Sorry, bad joke. And build a shelter for me. I only discovered that I built 50% more water pumps than I actually need, so you've got room to scale up then, Dippy. Pipes for everybody. Okay, I'm safe in my bunker. I'm going to take a break. I'll be back in 3 minutes-ish. Except the Twitch dashboard crashed, so maybe 3.5 minutes.
Look lively. It's time to do those stretches and hydrate.
Okay, we are back. And we are laying track across the countryside. Yeah, from here I can more easily go in that direction. Oops, I didn't put a pillar on the end. Does that one let us fit a train past? Yes. Okay, that's a good amount of room. I mean, it could have even swung out a bit further. Now, there are some coal nodes around here. One there, a couple there. I think I need to head through that spot over there is where I'm trying to get to. Really? You won't let me nudge that way? Yeah, I definitely want to branch off early on this one so that we can not get too far down before we cut across. Now there is a drop pod right there. And I do need more hard drives. I believe that one only has a few hogs around it. I have 0 rebars left. And 9. Do I even need the shelter? Are they spitters or are they hogs? That's probably too low. I think they're hogs and they're outside. Bonus. Oh, nope, there's a spitter and he's in range. Oh. Ah, yeah, I left the door. I didn't lower it. I'm out. Now, where exactly am I going here? Okay, so I do need to angle this way a bit to make it through this spot here. And then we angle up and around. So we do want to start climbing because I think we don't go through there. I think we'd actually cut straight across here through that way and then around. I lure him off. Yes, I can.
The resident song. Play for us.
Sucker. Sliding beam. I think I actually want to approach it from an angle over here. Nope, missed. Oh! There, you're interrupting a railway build here. Where'd he go? There he is. Bad piggy. I just want to keep going on this straight angle. Don't even know if it's level. Oh. I don't want to blow up the trees. Yeah, I'm going to leave that slug there. I can come back for that slug later. He's not going anywhere. It's interesting seeing this game in VR. Thank you. Welcome, Summer PJ2JQ. It's even more fun to play it in VR. An amazing world to be in. Excuse me. Missed. Oops. And I'm tempted to run that straight. No need to vary off course quite yet. There is limestone on the side there, I think. So I don't want to get too close to that because I might come back here and need to tap it. Although, shouldn't be too hard to reroute the railway slightly if I ever need to come back and do that. Yeah, I think I just want to keep going straight. I'm going to put this on the end first. Nope. If I land on the ground, I'm going to get attacked. No, that's still nudging. The floor is lava and covered in hogs. I do need to go off a little bit because otherwise the train is going to clip that. So maybe I need to duck down here a little bit. I'm going to veer off that way. his paws are outraged. That wasn't the full 40 meters. Bean's going, I'm going to get in the way. Which way did I want to go? I go that way or this way? Okay, that... I mean, I could duck over here and weave the train through here. Oh. Okay, yeah, it's under here I want to go, I think. I think the plan was to go through here and through that bit to where that nuclear hog was hanging out. Duck around there. Okay, so we do want to kind of come up this side. And I'm about to run out of fuel. So I think just head up, get some altitude, go straight up that point. Uh-oh, spitters. There, I don't have any rebars left. That was terrible. Where did that go? What? The jetpack is throwing off my throw. Quick, before those damn hogs spot me. Might hurt. Might start heading up a bit further back here. Yeah, this method is great because you get the right level and angle of your the rails every single time. So there's no awkward like hiccups in the rail as you go. Probably don't want to be out in the forest at night time though, really. I'm still being shadowed by at least one hog. I'm getting closer to the ground, so he's getting hopeful. You know what? I think I'm going to leave the rail building here for tonight, and I'm going to revisit it later on. I could start leveling up a little earlier back there, actually. I might redo some of that. So I'm going to head home because it is quite late at night here. Esmer's streaming. Esmer's usually a good person to raid. Hey, it's dawn. Right, let's get back to work. So we've got about 2/3 of the rail done. We're definitely past the halfway mark. And where's my chat bar? My chat bar, I'm actually reversed in my space here. Let me just turn around. Where's forward? There's forward. Okay. Right. So let's test this bit of the rail, see how it looks. This is not the right way, so this rail is designed to come in this direction, so we're actually going along it backwards. But there's no signals and no stops that are really going to get in our way, and everything that branches out branches back together. So we should be fine. This three-way intersection, you cannot select the middle rail in VR. That is a challenge I have not managed to fix in the mod yet. Luckily, you're not supposed to go this way, so if you notice, this way I did the split in 2 separate splits in this spot, just to avoid that. Head is clipping, the train is not clipping. I am a floating body with VR controllers above the train. I need to install, there's a mod called Train Interiors, which my VR mod does support. I do recommend you install it if you are using trains in VR. I just realised my dashboard is way back there. Actually no, if I hit recenter, my dashboard is still not there. I don't need a dashboard. Okay, so you can here see I've put the rail supports and the twin power lines along this section. And I've got another factory down there, so I'm going to need to do a branch line that goes down there and gets stuff from that factory. Train Interiors mod, I recommend 100%. Yeah, it's a good one, especially in VR. Okay. So that's our basics factory ahead, which we're actually not going to. Brake is not working. My brake is not working! Bye! That actually won't run off the edge because it goes all the way around. It'll be fine. Wow, almost made it to the plastic and rubber factory. Okay, yeah, so this is the other end of the line. So the main train stations here are dealing with plastic and rubber. So I'll pick up a pile of plastic and rubber and then we will head off to the new computer factory. But as you see, the line needs to join up with this end to make a complete ring. Otherwise, we'll only ever do one train trip. That will be the final one. So there's still lots of work to do with the train line. So I might just work on it during the week in my free time. I don't know if I'll stream more train lines, although you might be entertained by me taking on the 2 poison stingers. When I was scouting, I actually got the nukes off the lizard doggos and nuked them, and that was actually effective. And I didn't blow myself up this time, which is always a bonus. Back home. Check up on the doggos. Snowy's been hunting spitters. So have I, Snowy. And he's got 2 normal novelisks, okay. Nuts scratch. Nuts are always good. I actually need to make some more inhalers too. I've been going through them. And George has got a slug. Ooh, good haul. Wow, I've got a lot of weeds in my inventory. Let's chuck that in the recycling. I don't know if I've got my Celia recycling set up yet. Oh, I do. I think I just turn it into biomass. I might want to save it for fabric because I haven't automated fabric yet. Okay. So there is one problem with the recycling is I don't have buffers upstairs, which means a stack of this will fill the machine, but then the rest of it will probably pass through the overflow and come back. Oh, except I'm full. So, Dippy, about that massive container full of liquid biofuel. Okay, I do not need biofuel. Again, if I chuck all this in here, some of it'll go in a machine and the rest will get spat out in the recycling. The solid actually won't, because the solid gets turned into liquid biofuel, and then that actually does go into a separate container that feeds into a depot. So it is actually safe to feed all the solid biofuel in here, and it will actually... Ooh, no, not quite. There is still a queue where it's not buffered. The problem is like, if I was to buffer every input, I'd need a buffer in front of every single one of these constructors. So the solid biofuel will come in here and it will fill up this to a stack of 200. And then the overflow will just go back out the system and come out the other end again. We have a buffer here for plastic, so I can put plastic in here for making the canisters. So I do need to dump some plastic in there every now and again to make the canisters. Then the liquid biofuel gets packaged here, and then that goes into a container here that gets into the depot. So this container eventually will fill up. It's not doing too bad, so I should be fine for liquid biofuel. So what do I do with all this? See, this is overflow. This is overflow. Actually, it might be output from the weeds. Yeah, there's only so much the recycling system can take at a time. So every now and again I need to pick up everything from this and shove it back in the other side. Do I want a buffer just for the biomass? Another time. Because if this gets full, the whole thing will bottleneck. Another time. It's not critical. It's not like it's running a nuclear power plant off the logistics or anything. Okay, so thank you. That was a decent Saturday night session. We continued our train line on a bit. We built a double station off near the quartz, which is where we're going to be building a computer factory. And I need to finish the train line loop before I start work on the factory, I think, because if the factory's built but the rubber gets bottlenecked, although a container full of rubber would last a fair while and I could probably finish the train line in the time that rubber is bottlenecking, so I could make a start on the factory, but then I'd be going factory train, switching back and forth. We'll see how the week goes. Thank you very much everyone for watching. I will, for Twitch people, I will probably raid out to Essenberg if he's still streaming. Other than that, thank you both Twitch and YouTube people for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the next stream on probably Friday night. Good night. Let me just take my headset off and switch to my main PC.